The Senate hearings for Amy Coney Barrett begins. Microsoft's latest fight against hackers during the election. And updates on the COVID-19 pandemic.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV News at Noon. I'm Roy Jimenez. It's day one of possibly filling the Supreme Court justice seat left vacant by the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Last month, President Trump nominated Judge Amy Coney Barrett. Today, Senate confirmation hearings begin. But this time around, the process and the politics will make an unpredicted hearing. CNN's Nadia Romero has more.
Judge Amy Coney Barrett set to face the Senate Judiciary Committee in day one of her confirmation hearing.
I love the United States Constitution.
Some health experts say President Donald Trump's now infamous Rose Garden ceremony to announce her nomination was a COVID-19 superspreader event, with several attendees testing positive just days later, including Senators Mike Lee and Tom Tillis of the Senate Judiciary Committee. That event casting a shadow over an already controversial process, as Democrats accuse Republicans of hypocrisy after Republicans refused to hold hearings on President Obama's Supreme Court nominee in 2016.
McConnell has changed the rules for the Republican senators. We are running this through at a breakneck pace without the investigation that usually comes with these.
Democrats also fear Barrett might help strike down Roe v. Wade, the Affordable Care Act, and the court's same-sex marriage ruling. But Republicans warn Democrats not to play politics.
You shouldn't be having either Democrats or Republicans on the committee trying to figure out how can they divine the future of how they'll rule on particular cases.
Now it comes down to the numbers. Republicans only need 51 votes to confirm Barrett, and only 2 of 53 Republican senators, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, are expected to vote against the nomination, citing concerns about rushing the process in an election year.
If 2 more join them, then it's game over.
But Republicans remain confident in the president's nominee.
She has the character to understand who a judge is, what their job is, and how you're humble in that calling.
In Washington, D.C., I'm Nadia Romero.
Last week, U.S. District Judge Robert Pittman blocked Governor Abbott's order limiting counties to 1 mail-in ballot drop-off location, saying that it would, quote, create confusion and burden voters. Now, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has filed an emergency appeal to try and block the district court order. Paxton has agreed with Governor Abbott, saying, quote, mail-in ballots are particularly vulnerable to fraud. An investigation by the Attorney General's office closed last Friday after 7 aides claimed that Paxton engaged in criminal behavior. Although the FBI is looking into the allegations, Paxton will still be able to work. It's terrible to think that this is all happening just one day before early voting begins. Luckily for UNT students, the university is offering voting sites at 2 of their campuses. Let's go to Jasmine Clark, who's live with more information. Jasmine?
Thanks, Roy. Like you said, early voting starts tomorrow, and UNT is offering polling locations for students at both their Frisco and Denton campuses. For students on the main Denton campus, they'll be able to vote here at the Gateway Center. For those on the Frisco campus, they will have to go to Collin College Higher Education Center in McKinney. UNT is also offering students the option to vote by mail. They are offering applications that will have to be returned by students by October 23rd. Starting tomorrow at 7 a.m., students can go to both polling locations to vote early in this election. That's all I have for today. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jasmine. Microsoft has stopped a massive hacking operation that could have had an effect on the presidential election. The company announced today that it took down the servers behind TrickBot. That's an enormous malware network that criminals were using to launch other cyber attacks, including a strain of highly potent ransomware. Microsoft said it obtained a federal court order to disable the IP addresses associated with TrickBot's servers and worked with telecom providers around the world to stamp out the network. But Microsoft says it could have happened again, even if so. The company says its effort with this incident reflect a new legal approach that may help authorities fight the network going forward. Here recently, the Texas weather has been going back and forth. Let's check in with our weather anchor, Jessica Jalal, to see what to expect. Jessica?
Thanks, Roy. So we're going to be seeing a lot more back and forth this week. We're seeing warm temperatures during the afternoon and cooler temperatures in the morning. With that being said, let's look at our current conditions. We are currently at 71 degrees and it does feel like 70. Wind speeds can be as high as 30 miles per hour. It's pretty windy out there. Let's move on to tonight's forecast. We're going to have a low of 52 and it's going to feel colder at 45 degrees. Now this is pretty cold. We haven't had this cold weather for a while. Wind speeds can be at 10 miles per hour. Let's move on to tomorrow's forecast. It will warm up by tomorrow. We're going to have a high of 82 and it's going to feel like 85. Wind speeds can range from 5 to 10 miles per hour. But that's it for our current conditions. Tune in later for our full weather report. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jessica. When we come back, we'll talk about the latest COVID-19 news. Stay with us. Coronavirus cases are increasing in every state in the U.S., and new research by the CDC suggests that young adults may be the sparks in new virus hotspots. CNN Mandy Gaither has more.
As the number of COVID-19 cases climb in most states, the CDC says it's discovering a pattern. The percentage of positive coronavirus test results start going up among those under 25 about a month before a county is designated as a virus hotspot.
Just by looking at someone, you cannot tell if they're infected.
Dr. Deborah Birx, a White House coronavirus task force member, says the amount of asymptomatic spread is large.
When you start to look at these college data, that may be up to 80% of individuals under 30 are asymptomatic, and we're still getting the data from all of the colleges.
CDC researchers say understanding and tracking positive test rates by age group could help public health officials identify future hotspots and better prevent and prepare for a rise in COVID-19 cases. Dr. Birx says it's also important to identify those who are asymptomatic.
The way you find that is the way the universities are finding it. Regular testing. And if you wait till people have symptoms, you've waited too long because there's so much asymptomatic spread before that.
As temperatures get cooler, Dr. Birx urges everyone to keep their masks on and their guards up. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Here in Texas, COVID-19 cases are still coming in daily. Denton County reported 58 new COVID-19 cases on Saturday. Dallas County reported 410 new cases and 4 new COVID-related deaths. Tarrant County reported 422 new confirmed cases and 5 new COVID-related deaths. All this comes after Governor Greg Abbott allowed for businesses such as bars to reopen last Thursday. However, this was only limited to counties with low hospitalizations. Well, the walk into the studio this morning felt nothing like the middle of October. It honestly feels more like the middle of June. Let's go to Jessica to see if this will change anytime soon. Jessica?
Thanks, Roy. So that's exactly what we're going to see. We're not seeing any fall kind of weather anytime soon. With that being said, let's look at our current temperatures across North Texas. So we're in the 60s and 70s, low 70s and high 60s. Here in Denton, we have 71 degrees. In Decatur, it's 68 degrees. If you're heading to Dallas, it's going to be 73 degrees. Let's move on to our temperatures across Texas. So down in Austin and Houston, we have warmer temperatures. Austin is at 82 degrees and Houston is at 79. In Abilene, we have 67 degrees, and up in Oklahoma City, we have 62 degrees. Let's move on to our full weather forecast. So starting off the week, we're going to have sunny and clear skies. We have a high of 79 and a low of 52 for today. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy skies with a high of 82 and a low of 58. By Wednesday, it will be warmer, and Wednesday and Thursday will be breezier. We have wind speeds as high as 25 miles per hour during those 2 days. But by the end of the week, we'll have sunny and clear skies. That's it for our full weather forecast. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jessica. Well, Cowboys fans had a very emotional weekend. Isn't that right, Sebastian?
That's right, Roy. The Cowboys win the game, but take a huge loss for the season. We'll talk more about it after the break.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my...
Charlotte 49ers on Saturday, coming off a tough loss to Southern Miss last weekend. UNT went off to another slow start, ending the half 21-7, with the lone Mean Green score coming from a 20-yard Jalen Darden touchdown catch from Austin Awney. That wouldn't be it for the pair, as they connected for 2 more touchdowns in the second half, but it wouldn't amount to much except the stat sheet, as UNT loses their 3rd straight and falls to 1-3 on the season. The defense continues to be a problem for the Mean Green, as they now rank 2nd last in the FBS for yards per game and last for total yards and touchdowns conceded. The Mean Green's next game will be at 4 p.m. in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where they will take on the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. The Cowboys hosted the New York Giants in a key NFC East divisional game yesterday. The Cowboys fell behind early once again in the first half, down 17-3, due in part to Dak Prescott throwing an interception to Kyler Fackrell took 46 yards to the house. The Cowboys defense will respond to that by forcing a fumble on Giants quarterback Daniel Jones and taking that one 29 yards for their own defensive score. The Cowboys would end the half on a strong note with their own Dallas special, as wide receiver Cedric Wilson found Dak Prescott in the end zone to take the lead at the half. A hard moment in the 3rd quarter when Dak Prescott took the draw and was brought down by Logan Ryan. Prescott had to be carted off the field and taken to an Arlington hospital. So with the new backup Andy Dalton in the game, Cowboys went down the field and Ezekiel Elliott found the end zone to extend the Cowboy lead. Later on at the 2-minute drill, with the game tied at 34, Andy Dalton found Michael Gallup for a 38-yard pass so that Greg Zuerlein can play hero once again for the Dallas Cowboys and win the game 37-34. The Cowboys' next game will be next Monday night at 7:15 p.m. in the Death Star versus the Arizona Cardinals on ESPN. Dak Prescott had a scary moment in the 3rd quarter when he went down with an ankle injury. While the Cowboys finished the game, Dak was taken to an Arlington hospital for further evaluation and went through surgery on his right ankle. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that Dak Prescott suffered a compound fracture along with a dislocation. On Monday morning, the Cowboys announced the surgery was a success, and he is expected to be released from the hospital later on today. The injury leaves Dak Prescott sidelined for approximately 4 to 6 months and could cause some issues around current ongoing long-term negotiations and Prescott's future with the team. That is all the latest from sports. Back to you at the desk, Ray.
Thanks, Sebastian. The statue of Christ the Redeemer, one of Brazil's main attractions, turns 89 today. The cornerstone of the monument was placed on top of Corcovado Mountain in 1922. The construction was completed 9 years later, and it opened on October 12, 1931. In 2007, Christ the Redeemer was chosen as one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. Today's celebration marks the start of commemoration is leading up to the 90th anniversary of the religious symbol in 2021. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching ntTV News at Noon. Join us again tonight at 6 p.m. for more news and updates.